There's a fleeting moment, almost imperceptible, between the beat of the heart and the next thought. It's in that silent space where an ancient wisdom reveals itself, not as a concept, but as a feeling rising from the center of the chest. A feeling that something within us is trying to guide us, even when the mind hesitates to trust. Have you ever felt that call? An inner impulse that doesn't come from logical reasoning, but from the soul pulsing behind the sternum, where the heart beats not just as a muscle, but as consciousness. The heart, so often reduced to a romantic metaphor, is actually a legitimate center of intelligence. And Gregg Braden, a renowned author and researcher known for bridging cutting-edge science and ancient spirituality, has dedicated his life to exploring what many have long suspected. The heart thinks, feels, perceives, and communicates. Science now confirms what the ancients once intuited. Inside the heart, there are about 40,000 sensory neurons capable of sending signals to the brain and influencing our emotions, decisions, behaviors, and even our physical health. The heart is not just reactive, it creates inner reality. It speaks a vibrational language. But that's only the beginning. Braden suggests something even deeper. When the heart and brain are in coherence, our biology aligns with the quantum field around us. And in that alignment, in that state of inner harmony, doors begin to open. Doors no one can explain, but that transform everything. Intuition arises effortlessly. Synchronicities occur. Healing draws near. And so, the inevitable question emerges. What if the answer to so many pains, doubts, and searches isn't in thinking more, but in feeling with authenticity? Today, we'll cross this invisible threshold together, not to find ready-made answers, but to learn how to listen to what has always been with us, the quiet intelligence of the heart. You'll be guided through simple practices, supported by real studies and vibrational insights. This video is an invitation, a reminder, a seed, because there's something within you that is ready to awaken. And it all begins here, in the silence between one heartbeat and the next. Not everything that's true can be proven immediately, but it can be felt. And when we speak of the heart's intelligence, we speak of a wisdom that doesn't need proof to be real, because it already pulses within each of us. For a long time, we believed the brain was the body's command center, that everything began in the rational mind, in the electric impulses of the skull. But science and the heart have begun telling a different story. Studies from the HeartMath Institute revealed something that revolutionizes our understanding. The heart contains about 40,000 sensory neurons, its own nervous system, a little brain, as scientists call it, capable of perceiving, deciding, learning, and communicating independently. And even more, the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. This communication happens through neural, hormonal, biochemical, and electromagnetic pathways. It's as if the heart has its own voice, and the brain, most of the time, is quietly listening. And when we cultivate elevated emotions, such as gratitude, compassion, or genuine love, this dialogue becomes harmonious. The heart's rhythms stabilize, the mind quiets, the body responds. This is known as heart coherence. Gregg Braden calls this state a bridge. It connects the autonomic nervous system to the field of consciousness. It translates the soul's language into the language of matter. And what's most astonishing is that in this state, our capacities expand. Intuition sharpens. Mental clarity ignites. The body enters regeneration. This heart-based intelligence is ancient, but only now are we beginning to listen again. And when we listen, everything changes, because we stop living only from the mind and begin living from presence, from feeling, from a frequency that doesn't lie, from the inner truth the heart has always held. Some transformations can't be measured in words. They're felt in the body, in the breath that softens, in the thoughts that settle, in the silence that no longer weighs, because it has become a space of comfort. This is what happens when heart and brain enter coherence. This coherence isn't abstract. It's measurable, experiential, real. Studies show that in this state, the body enters systemic balance. Levels of DHEA rise, a hormone associated with vitality, rejuvenation, and protection against premature aging. At the same time, cortisol, the stress hormone, decreases. The immune system strengthens. Cardiovascular health improves. Sleep deepens. The mind becomes clearer. But these are just the visible effects. On a more subtle level, something even deeper unfolds. People who experience coherence report an inner peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. A clarity in decision-making that doesn't come from logic, but from intuitive wisdom. A spontaneous creativity that flows without effort. A quiet connection to something greater, what many call the field, the spirit, consciousness. Gregg Braden describes this state as a synchronization between our biological systems and the informational field of the universe. As if, by entering coherence, we align our vibration with the original source of life. And when that happens, everything takes on new meaning. What was once doubt becomes direction. What was once fatigue becomes clarity. What was once loneliness becomes vibrational connection. It's not a miracle. It's a return. A reconnection with what is natural but forgotten. Because to live in coherence is to come home. It's allowing the heart to lead and the mind to trust. It's remembering that the most powerful intelligence isn't the one that commands. It's the one that listens with presence and vibrates with truth. You don't need to wait for a special moment or the perfect place. The practice of coherence begins now, right where you are. All it takes is a moment of intention, and the heart responds. Close your eyes if you can. Let the body settle. Bring your attention to the center of your chest. Don't just think about it. Feel it, as if each heartbeat carried a code, a frequency, a memory of who you are inside, before the pain, before the fears, before the stories. Now breathe slowly. Inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. Continue this rhythm. The breath is the thread that stitches the body to the present. After a few cycles, bring to mind a genuine emotion, a simple memory that evokes gratitude. It could be a glance, a morning, a gesture, a sound. It doesn't have to be grand, just true. Feel that emotion grow in your chest. Let it spread, like soft waves of warmth, like a field vibrating around you. Stay in this state for a few minutes, without pressure, without expectations, just feeling. This is the state of coherence. You're not just breathing, you're reprogramming your energy. You're aligning body, mind, and spirit into a single vibration. It's recommended to practice this daily. Just 3 minutes a day is enough to shift your baseline frequency. And with it, change the experiences you attract, the thoughts that arise, the paths that unfold. Because when you change on the inside, the world has no choice. Reality begins to respond to your new vibration, and the heart, finally, begins to lead the way. Nothing changed on the outside, and yet, everything feels different. That's the sensation after accessing coherence between heart and mind. A calm that doesn't depend on certainty. A trust that doesn't need proof. Today, you discovered that the heart holds intelligence. That it doesn't just feel, it knows. That it doesn't just beat, it guides. We've learned that this intelligence is biological but also spiritual. That coherence between heart and brain transforms our health, our clarity, our ability to live with presence. And we've seen that this doesn't require anything more than a simple practice. Conscious breath, a gesture of gratitude, a silent space to hear what already lives within you. This practice is not just another spiritual ritual. It's a reconnection with the most intimate truth of your being. Gregg Braden reminds us, when we're in coherence, we access not only intuition, we access the field, the original vibration of creation, the source that guides with love and precision. You're not broken. You're realigning. You're not alone. You're being called back to your frequency. Incorporate this practice into your routine, not as an obligation, but as a seed, because each time you breathe in coherence, something within you awakens, something heals, something remembers, and perhaps then you'll understand what so many try to explain, but can only be lived. When we harmonize heart and mind, we open the doors to a fuller, more connected life, a life that pulses in rhythm with the soul, and that blossoms at last from the inside out.